Thank you, Ann. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 2020 annual meeting. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day today to join us via the Zoom webinar. Before I get started, I would like to just take a moment and again recognize our fallen director, Kurt Rakestraw. Kurt was a great board member for many, many years, and I truly enjoyed serving with Kurt and mentoring with Kurt, and he surely will be missed. Last year, we completed a long-range work plan. This is a 20-year plan, something we put together every roughly 20 years. It looks at the current loading and the future loading on the electrical system. So we try to predict where load is going to grow and where we could potentially have problems. But I'm happy to say that as of right now, the electrical system looks good, it's performing well, and we're well positioned for the future. We do continue to have reliability issues at our substations from loss of power from Penelec. So we continue to look at strengthening our back feeds. We continue to look for other sources of power that we can use in an emergency like that. Unfortunately, we're in a very rural area, and the availability of transmission lines is scarce. So there's not a lot of options, but to the extent that we can build back feeds into our system, we can then quickly pick up those areas via other substations. The long-range work plan also encourages the cooperative to continue investments in the electric system. An electric system is a lot like your home or business. You can't just build it and let it go. Every year you need to continue to improve it, update it, keep it current. So we've done that for many years, and we need to continue to do that. This work plan actually focused on some aging infrastructure. We are now 83 years old. Some original lines can continue to serve. They actually have enough power capability to serve very well. But again, we want to be proactive and replace aging infrastructure that could potentially give us problems during storms and other problems. Looking back at the outages for last year, we did have a number of outages, 425 to be exact. That resulted in about 6.3 hours per member. So if you were the average member, you would have been out of power 6 hours last year. How's that compare with, say, 20 years ago? In 1999, we had 545 outages, but a lot more outage time, 33.3 hours per member. What's changed? One thing we've done, and I'll talk about this in a moment, is increase our right-of-way program, and that has made a huge difference. Just point out that we're in a very rural area with about 90% of our lines being affected by trees. And this will always result in some outages, especially during storms and windy conditions. Ideally, my goal would be to have a couple hundred outages per year, and maybe 2 or 3 hours of outage time would be a fantastic year. 2019 was a good year. If we can keep the number of outages around 400 or less and a number of hours 5 or 6, that is a good year. Looking at 2019, what caused these outages? Look at 5 specific areas here on the screen. In spite of all of our work and effort, trees are still 20% of our outages. I'm sorry, 27% of our outages. That's come down though. Looking back 20 years, that number probably been 50, 60, maybe even 75% of our outages were caused by trees. So we've made significant progress in that area. Power supply, I mentioned, continues to haunt us. At 22%, say almost a quarter of our outages last year were due to power supply. Even though we have back feeds, it does take time to make the switching arrangements necessary. So that still continues to result in some outage time. Unknown, 12%. Electric utilities continue to be frustrated by this from day one. There's times where we go out and look the lines over and there's no apparent cause. Obviously, there was some kind of a cause. Could have been an insulator failing, could have been flashover from lightning, could have been birds that got on a tree, or a squirrel that temporarily jumpered the line to ground, a falling tree, tree branches brushing the line with ice on them. So any number of reasons can cause an unknown outage. Electrical equipment failures, 11%. And again, that's a lot of that tends to be some older equipment. Sometimes equipment just fails. Just like your car, your house, things aren't made as well as they used to be in some cases. Weather by itself was about 8% of the outages. Obviously, weather has a big impact on our outages, and that would affect trees and power supply, etc. A couple of things I want to bring out this afternoon that we do sell that you may or may not be aware of. We do sell a very high quality water heater. It's called a Marathon water heater. They are a little expensive, but they're very, very well made. And they're made of plastic and fiberglass, high quality internal parts. So the tank has got a lifetime warranty. We've all been there. You go down the basement and all of a sudden there's a puddle of water on the floor and it's a Saturday night and your water heater is leaking. So that's one worry, less worry you would have with a Marathon. They're available here at our office, and it's a cash and carry policy. You would take it home and have it installed by electrician or plumber or do it yourself. We also sell GeneraLink switches. This is used in conjunction with your generator. There's two different sizes, and these switches are very, very helpful to connect your generator to your house safely. This is a sideways view of a GeneraLink, the switch and the cable. So the cable has a special end that plugs into the black part on the bottom of the GeneraLink, and then the other end of the cable would plug into your generator. So here you can see it installed on the wall. The switch goes behind your meter, and then the GeneraLink conducts the power into your panel box via the cord. On the right-hand side, then you can see kind of the underneath view where the generator gets plugged into the GeneraLink. The nice part about this switch is it powers your whole panel. So you can have power at any circuit breaker, every outlet, every switch. Of course, there's a limit, whether it's 30 amps or 40 amps, but during emergency, 30 or 40 amps can do what you need to do, and you can continue to operate your home and household normally. These are also available here at the office, and call or stop in if you'd like to have one. Our lineman will install it at no cost. We sell these to you at cost, just like the water heaters. There's no markup in that. And touched on the COVID impacts. It did change our schedules a little bit this year. We obviously have changed our practices, keep everybody safe, and that seems to be working very well. One of the impacts to us has been a lot more new services. A lot of work's being done, additions and garages, new houses. So at this point in the year, we're actually up to over 50 new services. And that's going to be kind of a record, a recent record in the last 10 or 15 years. Since the 2008 crash and economic turmoil we experienced, we've been hooking up 30, 40 services a year. So this is more than doubled this year. And again, probably just a result of people being home and doing more work around the house. Another thing that's coming into play at our co-op is natural gas impacts in the top 10 connections, top 10 services. We used to have a lot of sawmills, and they used to populate the top 10 up until 2008, after the stock market crash and the Great Recession. All of them have dropped away except one. And now we have 4 or 5 natural gas loads in that top 10. So that's a favorable aspect to our economy here, to the co-op. Obviously, it has slowed down this year due to COVID, but still remains a nice commercial sale. In terms of maintenance, we've been really focusing on maintenance the last couple of years. We've always have done maintenance, but we've increased our pole inspections to the point that we're doing almost 1,600, 1,800 a year. Circuit breakers, we have about 300 of them out in our system, and we're keeping them up to date and rehabilitated. Right-of-way clearing, ash trees, and the hemlock, dying hemlock have slowed us down a little bit on that, but we're still trying to be aggressive and stay on at least an 8-year cycle. Eventually, it'd be nice to get to a 6-year cycle. We appreciate you taking the time to work with us and helping us clear the lines. That means so much to your service in terms of reducing blinks and outages. Around here we have a saying, if you take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. So that's pretty much true when it comes to storms and wind. Years ago, any kind of storm or wind would take out a lot of outages. But with our aggressive maintenance program, we've reduced that greatly. Technology is impacting our system. We have an outage management system. You see the outage map that Ann was talking about. We also use the new AMR meters. They help us to help find where outages are. That's going to be a long time till we get all of those in place, but that is a new technology that we are using. We just had our first line inspection with a drone. We contracted for that for our transmission line. We'll probably continue to do that and use those where it makes sense. In the future, technology may help us to get into a SCADA project. That's a big term for being able to switch lines remotely, and even fault prediction. So that continues to evolve, and the good news is, although it is costly, it does help and improve service. Other future trends, we can see that EV cars will make an impact eventually. We do have a special EV rate, so you can charge your car off-peak at a lower cost. The natural gas industry, we think, will continue to grow, and that'll be a good thing as we have increased commercial sales. We do have 14 or 15 home solar systems. These are like rooftop or some are ground mount systems. If you're interested in that, give us a call. I will talk to you about that. We do see increased efficiency in houses, especially with lighting, for example, LED lights. So our sales to the residential group have pretty much flattened, and in some cases have decreased. Weather with climate change and storms continues to impact us, although we continue to do the maintenance to help minimize that. And I already mentioned the dying trees and the invasive pest. Our mission is to provide you with safe, dependable electric energy and related services in an environmentally sound and fiscally responsible manner. And we use that as our motto every day. We continue to strive to serve you the best we can, meet your needs the best we can. We continue to invest in your electric system and continue our aggressive maintenance programs. Again, if we take care of the little things, hopefully the big things will take care of themselves. I want to close by thanking the employees. I'm just one person in this organization, and we have a great team of employees that do a great job each and every day. So I want to thank Kim and Lori, Diane, Tom, John, Diane, Dennis, Jeff, Walt, Todd, Nolan, Chad, Dave, Kendall, Tom, Derek, and Alex. Really appreciate what you do. And again, it's my pleasure to serve as your CEO. At this point, we're going to take a brief break while we look at any questions that were submitted, and we'll be back to answer your questions in just a minute. Thank you. Okay, thank you for your patience. We did have a question online concerning numerous blinks, and the question was, how should they report them if they're occurring after hours? So quickly, let me explain. A blink is a normal operation of a circuit breaker. Our circuit breakers are designed to operate when there's a temporary outage and then reconnect. So although this is very annoying, the concept in general is that this would prevent a very long outage. Instead of sending guys out to hunt over a line and not find anything, it'd be a couple of hour process. The circuit breaker automatically retries the line after a few seconds. If the line is clear, that means the short circuit has gone away, then the line will reconnect. And this creates what's called a blink. So during storms and high wind events, blinks would be completely normal, with perhaps tree branches falling, wires getting blown together, lightning strikes. Those things would all create blinks, and that would be a normal operation of the system. A blue sky event, we would define that as a non-weather event. It's a nice day. To have a blink on a nice day is not normal, and especially if you would be having a lot of them on a blue sky day, or having a lot of them per day. So in that case, we would ask you to call in, and if it's during office hours, again, you can use our normal 924-3381 number. We are here 7 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. After hours, if you have severe blinking where it's just constantly blinking, then call our outage line at 924-3418. These are on our website as well. Now, if it's just an occasional blink here and there, we'd ask that you would keep a little record of that, and perhaps you can email it or call it in during the next business day. Our email address is like our name, screc@epix.net. You could just send us a little note on that, and we will check it out. Occasionally we will have an insulator or a fuse cut out, that's giving us some trouble and will be creating a problem. But we would like to look at those kinds of things and try to prevent that. And likewise, occasionally you would have a local issue with your transformer and the service wire coming to just you. So we would encourage you to contact us if you're having that kind of an issue, and we can at least check it out, make sure that there's not a problem locally on your own property. So again, that's normal to have some blinks during the weather events. During blue sky days, a number of events is not normal, and we would ask you to call that in or email us at our email account. I want to thank every one of you again for joining our first online annual meeting. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to join us. And with that, we will be adjourned.